this image that I have of this defense and how good it can be, right? This hope of how good it can be. Nickel corner is very important to that because if they ultimately want to go press man, cover one, which it seems like they've built this team to do so, I got to know, can the nickel corners hold up? And more importantly, Cooper Cup is torching people out of the slot. What the hell are they going to do at nickel corner? And can any of these guys hold up in press man coverage?
What's funny is this feels like the center position of the defense. I'm not sure they have a starter here. The difference is nickel doesn't play 100% of the snaps. It's become a position that plays like 60 to 70%, but this Niners defense, I think they almost want to play base as much as possible. They may play more base than other teams because their linebackers are so fast, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so here's the situation. They started off with Darqueze Dennard as a starter. To me, he's never going to be the starter. It was like, let's not make a rookie 5th round pick a starter right off the bat. Let's just give this to a vet just because. But he's no longer. I mean, they're already rotating. Today it was Womack. And so I think it's probably going to be Womack. And he might be good. I mean, he is athletic. He is gifted. But, I mean, he was getting worked by Jawan. Like, Jawan Jennings can spin him around. I don't know. I haven't seen anything I haven't seen Womack in one-on-ones lock anyone up. I haven't seen him do anything where I'm like, okay. Like Burford, you can see it. You can see him in one-on-ones and be like, wow, I did not expect him to do that well. He's winning. I haven't seen Womack win like that. And I have seen Womack get turned around. I've seen him lose. I've seen him get flagged. So I think it's either him or bust at this point because Lenoir, he actually is having a decent camp. Lenoir's having a decent camp, and they can always move him back to the slot, but he's been playing outside the whole time. So I don't know what the plan is.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, yeah, it could be. And then if Ferret's healthy, it could be Mosley still, right? We have talked about that. Who knows? But it's important because if you can't get it together at that one position, that could be the backbreaker right there, right? Like if you're continually getting torched up the middle on third downs, that's something that has to be monitored as well. Now they certainly can allow like a Fred Warner to roam the middle and help out. He has the skill set to do that, as does Jimmy Ward. So, maybe that's the route they take, but I'm interested to see how that plays out and who gets that job.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like the Niners offense isn't game planning right now. But if you were going to game plan against this Niners defense, which is excellent and lacking weaknesses, the whole game plan is centered around getting your best receiver in the slot. That's what it all is. And if Mosley and Ward aren't going to travel with them there, great. That's the best thing that could ever happen. So It doesn't mean you'll beat the Niners, but that's what your job is, to get DeAndre Hopkins in the slot, Cooper Kupp in the slot, DK Metcalf in the slot, dictate the matchup. And if the Niners are going to really keep their guys outside and line up with Sam Womack, thank you. And maybe they'll try it, but if it doesn't work, D'Amico's smart. He'll figure something out. I mean, he figured it out by about week 8, week 9 last year. I think he'll do that again this year. He probably will. Kyle, that's another question. I don't know. Kyle's less decisive.
Yeah, I listen. I think D'Amico Ryans has shown that he's pretty damn good when facing adversity. He'll get it under control.
So that's nothing to remember. Whatever he goes with week 1 isn't necessarily what he'll settle on by the end of the season, because it's all an experiment and you don't necessarily get the answers in practice. You get some glimpses.
He did a great job, by the way, at just adjusting. I mean, overall, week in and week out, he came up with different game plans every single week to make it work, which is something that I felt like Saleh really lacked in. Like, Saleh was really good at running what he ran, but if somebody else threw something at him, he wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think.
Hold the phone.
Okay, I know you're a Saleh guy.
I am a Saleh guy. Saleh has accomplished a lot. He's a head coach. And I think what you could say about what you just said about Saleh was absolutely true through 2019. But I think in 2020, he grew. And I think that's the season that got him hired as a head coach, because he lost Bosa and he was not just rushing 4 all year. and playing cover 3. I mean, he had to really remake he had to go against his core philosophies just to survive. And he still had a top 5 defense. D'Amico probably could do that too. But I wouldn't just be like, hey, yo, Robert. No, I didn't say, you didn't say that. I got my boys. That's my boy.
He is your boy. But D'Amico, the difference is D'Amico did it right away. And I can also say this. I don't know how many times I saw the middle linebackers or 2 linebackers line up in the A gap, and almost every single time they would drop back in coverage and Salah's defense. It's like, oh, here they go. They're going to show blitz and drop back in coverage. We know it. But with Salah, with Ryans, that is not the case.
I like Salah's blitz packages.
That is not the case.
But he had Buckner. What he used to do was put Buckner in the A gap, and that would so he would think is, okay, if I put Buckner in the A gap, then I know which way the center is going to slide. You can't slide away from DeForest Buckner. He's DeForest Buckner. And so now I can really build my blitz packages with certainty. Because if you don't know which way the center is going, it's kind of tough to know. What you're trying to do is get like an overload, right? 4-on-3.
Right.
So Buckner would allow him to do that. He was clever with that stuff. Salah's smart.
It's
not about it. That's New York's problem. With D'Amico, what I want to say with him is that every adjustment he made last year worked. Every adjustment he made was the right one. And, he was deliberate with it. He didn't just wildly go back and forth. He thought about it. He saw the problem. Whenever he had a solution, it was the right one. It took him a while to get Armstead to defensive tackle, but Salah never got there. And I was telling him, I was like, Robert, what are you doing? He's not a defensive end. He can't contain mobile quarterbacks. He's a liability out there. What are you doing? Wouldn't listen. D'Amico listening.
He is listening. Yeah.
Man, it's tough.
D'Amico's good,
right
man.
and Salah's wrong. It's like, but that's why I'm quality control. Sometimes you got to listen.